Hello students, today we are going to be going over the review packet on page 2. So, first problem I'm going to do is number 1, where it's 27 equals negative 3/4 times the parentheses 4 minus p. So the first thing we want to do is take care of the parentheses. So we're going to just use the distributive property, and we're going to get 27 equals, and if you want, and the way I've taught it before is I put a line down the equal sign and know whatever you do on this side you have to do on this side as far as any type of math operation. So it's negative 3/4 times 4 would be negative 12 over 4. Oh, negative, yes. And then negative times negative would be plus a negative plus 3/4 p. Okay, then we can simplify this and say that's going to be negative 3. Then we want to move this to the other side so the variable's on one side and numbers are on the other. So we're going to add 3 here and add 3 here. So we simplify that to 30 equals 3/4 p. Now to get rid of this fraction in front of p, we have to multiply by the reciprocal. So we're going to multiply this side by 4/3. And again, whatever we do over here, we do over here. So 4/3 times 30 on your calculator, and you will find out that that is 40. Now, if we wanted to double check this, we could put 40 in for p and make sure that's correct. Will 27 equal negative 3/4 times 4 minus 40? Does 27 equal 3/4 of 30, negative 36? And I forgot that negative sign. Okay, so that'll be 9. 4 goes into 4 once, 4 goes into 36 9 times. I'm cross-canceling. So 27 equals 27, so it does check, and I know I have the right answer. Okay, so that's how you do number 1. Now, I'm going to choose another one that I think is fairly hard and follow along so you can make sure you know how to do it. This next one over here, some of you may make the mistake and want to go 8 minus 2 is 6. You do not want to do that. You want to use the distributive property. I'm going to change this to plus a negative 2. So I remember it's a negative 2 that must be distributed through there. And I'm also going to distribute the 1/5 through the parentheses as I do this problem as well. So I go 8, negative 2 times b is negative 2b, negative 2 times 4 is 8, 1/5 times 5 is 1, minus 1/5 of 25 is 5b. Okay, and again I should draw the line back there. Now I see this is on the same side of the equation, so I can say 8 plus 8 is 16. So I'm actually going to put that second and put the negative 2b first. And it equals the same thing there. Okay, so I'm not going to, well, maybe I will just rewrite it. Negative 5b plus 1, because I like the variables on the left side. Now I'm going to go ahead and get all the b's to the same side. I'm going to add 5b here and add 5b here. When I do that, I get 3b plus 16 equals 1, because this cancels out. Okay, then I go minus 16 both sides, and I get 3b equals negative 15. Divide by 3, and b equals negative 5. Okay, I could go ahead and put negative 5 back in for up here at up here for this b and that b and solve, but I won't take the time right now to do that. I'll go on to the so it says solve the following equations for c, so it's down below. At the bottom, number 14, we're going to solve for c. Hopefully you can remember how to do absolute values, okay? So we're going to pretend it's just a regular old equation, and like this is what we want to get by itself. So we're going to go subtract 3 first. So we go 8, absolute value of 8c minus 8, absolute value equals 64. Then I'm going to divide this side by 8 and this side by 8. So I get 8c minus 8 equals 8. Oh, and it's still absolute values, okay? Now, once you get the absolute values by itself, we can make our two equations. We can write it exactly as it is. 8c minus 8 equals 8. That's our first one, exactly like it is. And then the second one is going to be 8c minus 8 equals negative 8. Okay, so let's solve this one first. I'm going to add 8. So 8c equals 16. Divide by 8, and c equals 2. Okay, the next one I'm going to add 8 here, add 8 there, and I get 8c equals 0. Okay, so your final answer, C is 2 or C is 0, or it can be 0. Now we're going to go over here and do one with something squared, because I don't know if you remember how to do that part of it. Okay, so what we want to do is isolate the C squared, just like over here we isolated the absolute values. So first thing we want to do is get rid of the 4. So we're going to add 4 to each side. Next thing we want to do, divide by 7. And 567 divided by 7. And we get 81. Okay, now we have to do the inverse operation of squared, which is going to be square root. So C equals, now if you're taking the square root of 81 and it's not a story problem or anything, we say it's plus or minus 9. And then we're done. Okay, students, I think you can get the rest. You rock. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and do one more. I think 11 is a little bit tricky, or is it 12 where there's more than C? Never mind. We can do one in class. You rock.